Hi, this is my good friend Devin Whipple and her daughter Antia, and today we're going to be making some books. And Devin is going to show the children how they can take their wonderful watercolor and put them together as covers for books, and then they can have lesson books that they can put together for themselves. They can put their own creations in them. And here's a bunch of tools. Do you want to talk quickly about the tools that you're going to use today?
Sure. These are mostly things that are just on hand, or things that the kids have done or that are fun for them to feel and look at. So we're just using yarn today, and for the covers we have some paintings that they've done. And then we have a big needle that we'll use to sew with. And Melissa introduced me to this handy tool. I'm not sure what it is, but
it's an awl.
But it punches right through the paper and makes big holes so the kids can use a big needle and get through. Sometimes we need glue and a cutter, some instructions. Great! And some paper to fold. So this is what we'll do. We'll just start with using a folder, something that we want to use as the cover, and oftentimes it's thicker than the paper itself. And then we'll find paper that we can fold, because
What weight do you recommend generally when you're putting it together? Heavier than computer paper, or?
I like it a little bit heavier, but if it's too heavy, then it almost perforates if you open it and close it.
So form drawing paper is probably okay, but painting paper for the inside might be too heavy because of the rag content of it.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
So there's just, you can feel what's friendly.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Oh, that makes total sense.
Well, so this I think is actually computer paper.
Is that
glorified computer paper? So you can just go ahead and decide how thick you want it,
and then just
go from there. Fold it.
Great. And I'm looking forward to all of the things that the kids learned today, and I appreciate you being with us.
Have paper for the cover that we're excited about, and we are going to. This is the paper that we have for the folio inside. So your book will be approximately, there's a lot of paper there. Your book will be half of this. So you'll take, depending on how thick you want your book, you will take that many pieces of paper and you're going to fold it. And a folded piece of paper like this is called a folio. Most books have a bunch of folios that are all sewn together, but we're just going to sew one because we're learning. So that's how big your book will be. So the next thing that we need to do is, do you know what? Maybe you guys want to pass around, maybe take 8 pieces of paper each. And then we need to cut our paper down, our cover paper. And because we're going to sew into it, this needs to be in half. Okay, so let's look at your piece of paper. So we're going to cut it down. It doesn't have to be exact. It's really easy. I'm going to just kind of mark it with my needle here, like a little score. Cut this down. So your book size will always depend on what your cover size is. So if you're finding scraps around the house, then when you have your paper, kind of stack it. I'm sure there's a word for that.
Do we get to use 8 pieces of paper?
Is that good? Does that feel like a good size you can deal with? Okay, now, after you've got it all lined up, fold it in half. Okay. Now, the trick is, if it's too thick, you're going to have a hard time punching through it. Are you able to? Okay. All right, let's cut down the paper that you want to use as your cover. So Anders is set, Anders is cut down, and this one's extra. So will you hold this one? Eleanor, which paper are you using? We're using the polka dots. Okay. There's something interesting about paper.
I think I might need some help.
Is paper, like fabric, has a grain in it, and that means one way will fold better than the other, and I think this way folds better. Not all, some paper is, it's not a big deal, but other paper, you can tell, one way it won't want to fold. So we'll fold this in half. And we want to get 2 books out of this, so let's see. Are we going to be able to get 2 books out? What do you think? Sure. Let's go like this. It's going to cut on this side, so let's make sure your book will fit here. Okay. Alright, so there's Eleanor's. And I think we're sharing, huh? So let's cut yours as well. Alright, that's, you've got so many in there. But yeah, that might probably will be a problem. Okay, so we'll work with this. We're done. Okay, and teams, this paper definitely wants to fold this way.
We're gonna make it into 2 books. Yeah.
Okay.
I think 2 books.
Can we do 2 books in here?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get 2 out of here. It's gonna be pushing it, but I think maybe we can. We'll see if it will let us. Okay. Hey, you guys who have yours already, look and see if there's some string you want to use. Go 1, 2, and that'll be plenty. We'll make sure you have plenty. Okay, there's 2 ways to do this, and one is with a needle. We're going to poke the holes in, but the other way is with, okay, so you want your string to be on one side, and then the string coming through to be on the other side. Figure out what will happen if you go like this. If I pull really hard like this,
It will rip.
it will rip the paper like that. So if you're going to pull something tight, you have to pull it along the spine. All right, so voila, we have 1 little book, but we will finish doing something to it after. So let's show you what to do if your book is thick. If too thick to do a paper punch through to make those big gigantic holes, then we are going to use a needle. Jacob, you would want to use more than 3 holes if this was really heavy or really big, because you want the
To be the strongest. And here's the 3rd one. I mean, it's going to
okay. So we'll go ahead and do 5 on this one, okay? So here we go. This is an awl. Here we go. You could measure this out, but we're not too exact. We'll just go in for it. Let's go for it. Okay, so 1, you want to make sure you don't move when you're putting the holes in, or else your holes will not match up. Okay, 2. This is really pretty thick for what we're doing.
Is that a needle?
This is an awl. It is used for putting holes in things. Okay, so we have our needle threaded. I hope this stuff is strong enough. Find out.
That's what I'm used to.
Okay, if you want your string hanging out the back, like Anders, see how his is hanging out the back, or do you want it hidden inside?
I want it hidden inside.
Hidden inside? Then we will start inside, so our knot will be inside. We are going to get this one done, and then you'll know the 2 ways to do it. And we'll get some helpers in here. Okay, making this hole bigger. Okay, so you're going to go through, we'll make a diagram of this for you guys. This, go in, we'll go to the next hole, and up. Pull it tight, then we'll go through the next hole. We'll find out when we tie it. Okay. Then we will go back through this hole, and you want to be careful not to go into the yarn or the thread that you're using. Please.
He's doesn't surgery yet.
Okay. So we just went to the next side. Back through here.
Are you gonna see the paper?
Right, just make this hole bigger.
Yeah. Do you know what Mom's first word was? No. What was Mom's first word?
Probably mom.
His first word was envelope. My brother's first word was that.
Was envelope?
Mom, what was my first word?
Okay, I'm sorry. We are going back through the next hole. I don't remember what your first word is.
What was Auntie's first word?
Luckily, I kept a little book like this, and I wrote down all these things. So when we get home, we can look. Here we go. We want a string on each side. And tie. And tie. Okie dokie. Eames is down. If you really want it to lay flat, you can put it down on a table and you can put books on top of it.
Or put
Okay, maybe we will go ahead and get some helpers.